In a moment, we will step back into the year 1912 and witness one of the greatest maritime disasters in history, not through cold facts, but through the lives, fears, and last words of those who were there. We will walk Titanic's shining halls, hear the laughter of its passengers, and then the silence of the sea that claimed them. This is the final story of the Titanic. The early 1900s were an age of steel, steam, and human ambition. Nations competed to prove their dominance not only on land, but on the seas. And in the shipyards of Belfast, engineers and workers labored for years, forging something the world had never seen before. She was named Titanic. 882 feet long, 92 feet wide, towering 175 feet high, bigger than buildings, faster than most warships, and designed to carry over 3,000 passengers in comfort and style. The newspapers called her unsinkable, the pride of the White Star Line, a floating city, a modern Noah's Ark. Inside were wonders that seemed taken from dreams: gilded dining halls, a grand staircase of oak and wrought iron, carpets from the finest mills, porcelain from France, and meals prepared by world-class chefs. The wealthy believed they were untouchable. The poor believed they were blessed with a chance at new life. But none knew that fate had already chosen their end. April 10th, 1912. Southampton, England. Crowds filled the docks. Families waved handkerchiefs. Children shouted in awe as Titanic's 3 giant propellers churned the water. Over 2,200 souls stepped aboard. Wealthy elites like John Jacob Astor, famous figures like Molly Brown, and hundreds of immigrants from Ireland, Italy, and Eastern Europe, all chasing dreams across the ocean. As the ship's horn bellowed, hearts soared with excitement. They were sailing not just on a voyage, but into legend. For 4 days, Titanic was alive with music, laughter, and motion. First-class passengers dined on oysters, lamb, and champagne, while orchestras filled the air with waltzes. Men smoked cigars in lavish lounges, and women strolled in gowns glittering under electric light. In second class, teachers, priests, and tourists enjoyed clean cabins, hot meals, and a chance to mingle with society above their means. In third class, steerage, hundreds of immigrants shared bunks, ate simple bread and stew, and dreamed of the golden streets of New York. From top deck to bottom, Titanic seemed unstoppable. A palace of iron, a triumph of man. But the sea does not bow to man. April 14th, the 4th night. The sea was eerily calm, the sky sharp with stars. Cold winds swept the decks, but passengers still danced, sang, and strolled under the moonlight. In the crow's nest, 2 lookouts strained their eyes through the dark, and then a shadow. A mountain of ice rising from the glassy sea. "Iceberg right ahead!" The bell clanged. The wheels spun. Engines roared in reverse, but momentum was destiny. At 11:40 p.m., Titanic scraped against the iceberg. The sound was not a crash, but a groaning, tearing scream of steel. Underwater, her hull split open like paper. Seawater exploded in. Compartment after compartment flooded. Chief designer Thomas Andrews did the math. The ship could float with 4 compartments flooded. 6 were already gone. Titanic had less than 3 hours to live. At first, passengers laughed. The jolt felt minor. Champagne glasses tipped but didn't break. Some even tossed ice from the deck into drinks as a joke. But below, the truth spread like fire. Coal bunkers flooded. Crewmen struggled as freezing seawater climbed higher by the minute. Captain Edward Smith ordered lifeboats uncovered. The unsinkable ship was sinking. But there was a cruel truth. Titanic carried lifeboats for only half her passengers. 1,178 seats for over 2,200 souls. "Women and children first," officers shouted. Yet chaos erupted. Some boats were lowered nearly empty, passengers refusing to leave the warmth of the ship for the black unknown. Others were crammed until wood groaned. First-class women wept as their husbands were forced back. Immigrants in steerage clawed at locked gates, desperate to reach the upper decks. Many never did. Water swallowed the bow. The stern rose higher, tilting decks to impossible angles. People clung to railings, slid across the tilting floors, or leapt into the abyss. Through it all, the band played. Violinist Wallace Hartley led his men in hymns, their music drifting over the screams. Survivors would later swear the last song was "Nearer, My God, to Thee," a prayer set to strings, a farewell gift to the dying.